education. Here's one of the reasons why the public is as dumb as it is. Here's one of the reasons the population is as docile and naive as it is. One of the reasons the public doesn't have the critical thinking skills they need to discern when they're being brainwashed, propagandized, and ultimately deceived. The ostensible purpose of so-called education, whether it be all the way down to grade school education, all the way up through higher education, through the universities, I don't care what level we're talking about. The ostensible purpose that people believe that it's serving is to teach the young the necessary information and life skills required for successful living. And secondly, to provide the tool set for critical thinking and informed decision making. Is the mainstream education system actually succeeding in that role? Is it actually attempting really to do that? Is that its real purpose? And I'll tell you what, you go and ask people, I'll go and ask friends of friends, family members who are involved. Is this what the education system's really set up for? And they're like, yep, yes, doing as best as they can with the limited resources that they have. You know, and teachers have the best of intentions, and they're not just following a script that is harming children to get a paycheck and to just keep the status quo and to not rock the boat so that they have a paycheck to feed themselves and their family. No, it isn't that. It's that they're really trying to educate people and teach them truth and teach them critical thinking skills and discernment skills. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, assholes in my own family believe that shit. They believe the ostensible purpose of the education system because some of them are involved in it. And they actually believe that bullshit. Because they're lying to themselves. And they don't want to acknowledge that they may be involved in something that is harmful to others. Namely, the developing minds of young children and impressionable youth. And it's their paycheck. It's their bread and butter. So God forbid you talk anything bad about that. You know, this is my identity. I consider myself a teacher in the public school system or whatever. How dare you attack that? That's attacking me. No, that's just what you do and the institution you're involved in doing it through. That's not who you are. It shouldn't be the view of who you are, but that's the problem is people identify themselves with the job that they do. It's called ego identification, cultural identification, and then we have political identification. You know? Identity politics, job identity. People can't see that there's something beyond that they themselves are something beyond that in consciousness and awareness. No, I am my job. So I'll take offense to a critique of my job or the institution that I work within. Instead of being honest with what you are actually participating in. And what is the actual end result of that in the real world? What's the true purpose of the so-called education system? It is to indoctrinate the young into the worldview of the state so that they are easy to control. Shouldn't say easily, it should say more easily controllable or easier to control. Matter of fact, I'm going to fix it in real time. How about that? All right, back to the slide. All right, it's fixed. Indoctrinate the young into the worldview of the state so they are easy to control. Present a skewed depiction of both past history and current social events. Politically brainwash the young and impressionable. That's the real purpose of so-called mainstream education. And I would add a fourth one. It's to prepare people to do jobs where they become obedient workers. As George Carlin said. That's why you're never going to have, or you're not going to, through these institutions, you're never going to have an informed population capable of critical thinking. Because the owners of the world don't want that. The owners of society want obedient workers. And that's what the education system is there to churn out. Again, if we're being honest with ourselves, you want to lie to yourself all day? that this is set up to actually edify and enlighten people and give them accurate information about the world and what's happening and what's taking place, lie to yourself all day. All damn day you could lie to yourself. Go look in a mirror and practice lying to yourself about that. You can get better and better at it. So, if we're being honest with ourselves, education is just another aspect of state indoctrination. It's the state putting their people in point positions to brainwash the young, to make them ignorant and docile so that they are easy to control by the state. That's all the modern indoctrination system really is, if we're being honest with ourselves. And there's exceptions to the rule in general. Like, you have some teachers that are going to try to slip some things in with children. That happens, okay? And there's some schools that do try to teach critical thinking, or some programs that try to teach children critical thinking skills, okay? So, I'm stopping short of making 100% entire blanket statements regarding this, but in general, it holds very true as a rule.